Alright, I'm making this video for the guy with the McCurr. Sorry that I don't remember your name or anything. I just watched one video. But if you see, okay, there's that brass elbow right there. Well, the factory hose, that's where the PCB would have been for the turbo coupe. And I put a brass nipple in there. Ran the line down and around. Comes out behind the alternator, down to this catch can. Now this is the catch can for the lower end of the block, okay? Now I'm gonna demonstrate what comes out of this. I don't get any oil, but I get straight, oh, come on. But yeah, just a little bit of oil, okay, but mostly water, which is already on the floor below it, if you see, because I just messed up. But let me close it. Now that's just from this morning and yesterday morning startup. I haven't dogged on it or anything, but if you could see, that's just moisture and a little bit of oil vapor, and you do not want to put that back into your block, okay? So keep that separate. Keep that lower end of your block catch can separate. That's just from cold start and driving up to work, okay? And that's just 2 mornings, and there was more than that on the floor down there. But now here's the valve cover one. Hopefully I can get this one right. Okay, the valve cover one is the turbo coupe valve cover, so I got optimal nipple size. This is actually a T from a turbo coupe where the sensor would be. That was for the coolant temp sensor for the older turbo coupes. I used that with the stock grommet. Okay, fits right in there. I left the sensor in there just to plug the hole, and I cut the sensor off of it. You can actually see where the wires were. All right, that was my ghetto rig fitting. I put a pipe fitting on it, and all the way down to this catch can. Okay, this is for my valve cover, which I do want to add the McCurr valve cover cap with the 90 and put a third catch can. That's coming soon, because I believe both sides of this valve cover is going to need breathing. So anyways, this is, I've drained this one a couple days ago, and I really haven't dogged on it much. So yeah, just a little bit's coming out. So that, okay, now if I would have put it in a different container, yeah, usually there's way more than that. But I haven't did any full pulls or anything, just cruising it, so I haven't really got into the boost. Okay. But normally what comes out of here, the viscosity, and the smell, okay, because I run 110 most of the time, turbo blue. The smell and the viscosity of the oil that's coming out of there, okay, you have to understand that vapor comes from when you're under boost. And then what happens when you're under boost is you're dumping fuel, okay, because that's what turbo motors want, is more fuel for the air. So when you're off the throttle and the boost comes in and there's nowhere to go and it's breathing out of the block through the valve stems and the piston rings, well, that's fuel vapor and oil vapor that's getting carried up through that line and into your catch can. Personally, I don't want to thin out my oil any more than it already is. I don't want to add fuel to my oil. I know a guy, he takes all his catch can oil, boils the fuel out, strains it through a paint strainer, and reruns it in his race motors. Okay, but he definitely does, still he boils the fuel out of it. I would definitely not be plumbing neither one of these catch cans back into my block as a return for oil. That's nonsense. If you care about your motor, there's no way that I would do that. And this is just a consistent thing, okay? The lower block, I barely ever get any oil out of it. It's always just moisture, just condensation from the lower block warming up. Okay, take it how you want. I know my build isn't the prettiest, but it sure is fun, and I hope that tip helps you out, man, because that Merkur is way too sweet to be doing idiotic mistakes like that. You will have that motor blown up in no time. You're putting water back into your oil, and I would consider using a bigger catch can than what the half size of what you got, unless you're gonna drain them and check them every single day and every 4 hours of driving, boosting and beating it down. Believe it or not, that gets about halfway after about a week. So I don't want to have to continue to always drain these. It's like a pain. You have to get your catch little pan and all that. It's like darn near doing a freaking oil change every time. But good luck, man. I hope this helps out. And if you watch it, I appreciate watching. And if you want to subscribe. It definitely would help me further on with my motivation to make these videos. Y'all take care.